Welcome to In the Loop Weekend Ag Talk, brought to you by Alphen Insurance Agency, the home of Policy Plus. We hope everybody's have a good week. Let's jump over and see how the markets finished on Friday afternoon. As expected, a crazy afternoon in the markets after the planning intentions report and monthly stock report. Nearby contracts made huge gains in soybeans, with corns being up a little. Let's look at all the markets here. May corn closed the week at 658 and a half. December corn finished out at 566 and a quarter. May wheat finished out the week at 692 and a quarter. July wheat finished at 704 and a half. May cotton finished the week at 82.78. December cotton 83 and 42. May soybeans finished the week 15.05 even, while November soybeans finished the week at 13.19 even. When you insure with Alphen Insurance Agency, you get Policy Plus. Be sure and give us a call today and let us guide you through acres reporting, which will be the next biggest project you guys have to face as you finish up planting your corn, cotton, and soybeans this spring. University of Mount Olive had a ribbon cutting recently named after the project's lead donor, the North Carolina Tobacco Trust Foundation Commission Agriculture Commodity Building. The facility is the first of its kind in a private agricultural college setting in North Carolina. According to Dr. Sandy Maddox, Dean of the School of Agriculture and Biological Sciences at UMO, the 5,000 square foot building will serve as a commodity handling facility, food hub, and training and demonstration site for students and local farmers. Leaf rust has appeared in eastern North Carolina early this year. It was found last Tuesday in a farmer field of USG 3118 in Pasquotank County. It's also been reported in Duplin County. It is unexpected for the rust to be showing up so early with the cold temperatures over the last few weeks. However, we've had several days above average, even recorded temperatures coming soon, and these conditions will be good for leaf rust to develop and spread further. If scouting reveals leaf rust in your field, it needs to be evaluated for thresholds before fungicides are applied. When we look at the USDA North Carolina Weekly Production Cost Report, compared to last report, ammonium sulfate remained steady, calcium nitrate steady, 1846.0 average 6.25 lower, lime was steady, liquid nitrogen steady, 10-10-10 steady, potash steady, and urea steady. Farm use diesel fuel averaged 3 cents lower, while tobacco use propane was 2 cents lower. One of the biggest days in USDA reporting for the year is the planting intentions for the 2023 spring crops and grain stock updates. Corn planted for all purposes is estimated to be at 92 million acres, up 4% from last year. Soybean planted area for 2023 is estimated at 87.5 million acres, up slightly from last year. All wheat planted for 2023 is estimated at 49.9 million acres, up 9% from 22. Cotton plant estimates are at 11.3 million acres, down 18% from last year. When we look at corn stocks for March 1st, 2023, totaled 7.4 billion bushels, down 5% from March 1, 2022. When we look at soybeans in all positions on March 1st, 2023, totaled 1.69 billion bushels, down 13% from March 1, 2022. All wheat stored as of March 1st totaled 946 million bushels, down 8% from a year ago. When we look at export updates for the week, we'll start with corn. Exports came in at 668,200 metric tons, which was down 52% from last week and down 37% from the 4-week average. Big takers outside of China and Mexico included Colombia, Japan, and Dominican Republic. When we look into soybeans, exports for the week totaled 1,039,000 metric tons, which was up 63% week over week. Big importers on the week were China, Mexico, Indonesia, the Netherlands, and Germany. When we look at all wheat exports, they came in at 377,500 metric tons, which was up 4% week over week. When we look at cotton exports for the week, 272,500 running bales. Top destinations were Vietnam, Pakistan, Turkey, China, and Mexico. FBN, the global ag tech platform and farmer to farmer network, released its 2023 Ag Chemical Price Transparency Report, highlighting extreme price variation facing farmers and shining a light on an opaque market. The report collected over 3,000 unique pricing data points across 37 states, accounting for over 800 insecticides, fungicides, and herbicides. Across 236 different chemical products, on average, there was 15% variance between average list price of the product and the price the farmer actually paid. The widest discrepancy was on the dicamba product, DGA, the 4-pound product. There was a 283% variation in product. Disproportionate impact on farmers paying higher prices. Half of the farmers paid 19% more than average price list, but the other half paid only 14% below. When we looked at the ever famous Roundup Power Max 3, there was a $60 a gallon price, but variance ranged from $45 to $73. That one seemed to be closer in line, much closer than the dicamba chemical price. The American Farm Bureau Federation urges Congress to pass legislation to freeze the 2023 Adverse Effect Wage Rate, or AEWR. American Farm Bureau says the rate distorts labor costs for farmers across the country who hire nearly 400,000 employees through the H-2A program. The bipartisan FOSA temporarily resets the AEWR at 2022 levels, providing much needed wage relief to farm families and giving Congress an opportunity to deliver a fair and reasonable solution. Coming soon as we get into planting season, we will resume our weekly USDA weekly weather and crop bulletin updates each week. Stay tuned, they'll be coming up starting next week. When we look at ag news across the world, we're going to touch on Argentina and Brazil. The Buenos Aires Grain Exchange didn't change crop estimates for the week. Soybeans are still estimated at 25 million metric tons versus preseason estimates of 51 million metric tons. Corn crop still at 36 million metric tons versus preseason estimates of 55 million metric tons. This being said, Argentina will have to import a very large amount of soybeans from its neighbor in Brazil to keep their processing plants in operation. This may help reduce the global impact of the huge bean crop that will be coming off in Brazil. Argentina is still facing major droughts, same ones they faced all season long. As always, we throw something in there a little different for you to consider and look at. Today, we're going to talk about off-farm investing for retirement and looking at a compound interest calculator. Most farmers invest in land and equipment over their careers, hoping to be able to sell some of these assets at retirement and live off that income. Things like equipment can be sold, and then the farmer can reinvest the money, drawing it over time to pay his or her bills. Land is something they like to keep and potentially lease out, creating another stream of income for the retirement years. It's a good idea to look at off-farm investing to help build a nest egg for your retirement. Stocks, bonds, and mutual funds are some common investment vehicles that you may choose from. Today, we aren't going to discuss the hows of investing, but we're going to look at the why. One term we're going to discuss today is compounding interest. Invest.gov has some free tools to help you to be better at understanding the power of compounding interest. When you go to the investor.gov page and you search down through the screen, you'll see the compounding interest calculator and savings goal calculator that is on the screen here. When you click Go to Calculator, it will bring you up to a simple interest calculator where we can input some formulas here. For our example, we're going to use the U.S. stock market. Over time, it has the following rate of return. When we look at 5-year returns on U.S. stocks, 17%. The 10-year average is 15%, and the 20-year average 9%, and 30 years we look at around 10%. These figures can vary widely from year to year. Another thing to factor in is inflation, which brings the 10% all time average down to more like 7%. We're going to look at the site here and use the calculator for a second. We're going to put in that we had $1,000 to start with, and we're going to do a monthly contribution of $500. We're going to do this for 20 years, and we're going to say our estimated return rate is 8% with a 2% variation, meaning that it may go up 2%, may go down 2%. We're going to calculate this compounded annually and see what this would look like in 20 years. Doing that, it looks like you would have $279,232 over the 20-year period doing the investment that we just talked about, putting $500 a month in a simple stock and bond matrix averaging 8%. Let's look at a few other examples. We're going to start with the same $1,000 investment. We're going to keep it the same, $500 a month, but we're going to say you're a younger man or woman and starting, and we're going to do this for 30 years. We're going to run the interest rate the same at 8%. We will put a 2% variance in, and let's see what kind of difference that makes over time when we calculate that annually. That 200 and some $1,000 now ends up $689,000. Let's do another example. In this example, we're going to say that you start with $1,000 as we did in the others, but for one reason or another, you've got a little more disposable income to invest. We're going to say you put $1,000 a month in. We're going to do this for the full 30 years, and let's assume that we capture the 9% average there over 30 years with a 2% variance. When we do that and compound it annually, it's going to give us a little over $1.6 million. Folks, compounding interest works over time. It's something that is different than just buying land and equipment, those type things. Off farm investing is also something for those that are not in farm ownership to consider. Maybe you find a trustworthy financial advisor and get a plan together that'll work for you. Just wanted to show you how important it is to put some money in there, start saving up for retirement, and just don't look at it like any other investment like that. You put it in there for the long term, but it shows you the sheer power of compounding interest on your investments. Well, that's about a wrap for this Weekend Ag Talk, brought to you by Alphen Insurance Agency, the home of Policy Plus. We hope you all have a great weekend, and thanks to all the farmers for feeding and clothing the world. Remember, keep mental health a priority around your farm and around your house. Make time for yourself and make time for those around you. Again, thanks for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you on the next edition. Have a great weekend.